What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's Filthiest Pitches of the Day, the playoff edition. Remember, before we get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button. Join Ninja Nation. And now, without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches of the day. I'm going to start with Max Fried, who only had 2 Ks in 3 1/3 innings, giving up 4 runs. He did have these nasty sinkers and slider, but definitely a subpar outing. He was up against Ranger Suarez, who had 5 Ks in 3 1/3 innings, giving up only 1 run, but he did have a ton of walks, leading to him throwing 86 pitches in 3 1/3 innings. He had these fastballs and 2-seamers. Justin Verlander also didn't have a great outing, giving up 10 hits in 4 innings and 6 earned runs. His Ks were mostly due to his vicious sliders, including this one that gets the knee buckle, but definitely not a Cy Young quality start. He battled against Logan Gilbert, who had 5 Ks in 5 1/3 innings, giving up 3 earned runs. And Gilbert had these filthy breaking balls. Mike Clevenger didn't have a great start, gave up 4 earned runs in 2 2/3 innings. He did have 3 Ks, thanks to his curveballs and sliders. He was up against Julio Urias, who had 6 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 3 earned runs. Urias dominated with his fastballs, and that fastball really set up his sweeping breaking ball, as you can see in this overlay right here. Those pitches look the same, and that breaking ball drops and sweeps. Another thing I liked about Urias' outing was that he messed with timing, and I overlaid 2 of his windups so you can see the difference. A little trickeration to make his stuff that much harder to hit. Cal Quantrill had 5 Ks in 5 innings, thanks mostly to these cutters, and those things are filthy. But my filthiest starter from yesterday was Gerrit Cole. Cole had 8 Ks thanks to his mix of upper 90s heat, his sliders, and his knuckle curves. And it's really the mix of those pitches that make him so tough. Here's an overlay of his 97-mile-an-hour fastball and an 88-mile-an-hour slider, and you can see how well he tunnels those pitches. And here's an overlay of his 97-mile-an-hour fastball and an 85-mile-an-hour knuckle curve. You can see how that knuckle curve looks just like a fastball, and just as you're ready to swing, it's no longer there. Cole was really the ace who pitched the most like an ace yesterday. Now on to my filthiest relievers. Jesse Chavez had this beautiful backdoor 2-seamer. Brian Abreu had these wicked sliders. Andres Munoz didn't have a great appearance, but he did have this outstanding stuff. Pure heat and unhittable sliders. Trevor Stephan had this 90-mile-an-hour splitter. James Karinchak had this hammer curveball. Colin McHugh had this 6 slider. Orlando Arcia had the take of the day against Brogdon. Right. Hilarious. Pierce Johnson had these mean breaking balls. Evan Phillips had this backup cutter. Alex Vesia had his fastball and slider working, and I love when he pitches with emotion. Here's an overlay of his fastball and slider, and you can see why that's so tough to hit. Chris Martin had this cold play. I'm sorry. Nick Martinez had these absolutely filthy changeups. Seranthony Dominguez had this mix of wicked sliders and cutters, and then this bowling ball 100-mile-an-hour sinker. I don't know how you hit that. My filthiest reliever yesterday was Jose Alvarado for this at-bat. Getting the jump back on 2 100-mile-an-hour 2-seamers kind of right down the dick. It's hard to tell from the camera angle, but those things actually ran 12 inches, which explains the jump back. And then he finishes it off with this dirty cutter. Totally unfair. The worst relief appearance of the day yesterday? Well, we'll just anonymize it to protect the player's identity. And now, my Pitching Ninja moment of zen. Phrasing.
Bader's still in the afterglow of the blast he just unloaded.
What is up, Ninja Nation? My picks of the day today are a 3-leg parlay. I'm going to start off with Zach Wheeler for 5 Ks or more, and top it off in the nightcap with Clayton Kershaw for 5 Ks or more, and Yu Darvish for 6 Ks or more. What would your picks of the day be?